Pinky ring, Panky Rang, Panky Rang, Panky Rang, Panky Rang. I think I need to get me a Panky Rang. What do you guys think? Panky Rang. Not a Pinky Rang, a Panky Rang. I need to give me a Panky Rang. Very happy. Ribbidoo. Well, ribbidoo. Panky Rang sounds like that. That's my squart. My squart. That's shit. Man, that can't have been real. Please tell me it was fake. That's not pee. It's squart. No, 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 lady. This here ain't pee. This here is squart. Isn't the show soon? The show is in 2.5 hours. So, I guess in the grand scheme of things, soon. But not like imminent, you know? Can't remember how the Song of Storm goes. Oh, I know. I do. Right? It's the Song of Storms, right? Why is Zelda music so good? You ruined my windmill. Aw. Hey. Did you collect all the spider medallions? No. No, I didn't. No, I did not. Am I smoking wacky tobacco? Not currently, no. Soon, though. Soon I will be. That's for sure. I ought to be locked up. Don't threaten me with a good time, Daddy. What are you going to do to me once you got me locked up? You ought to be locked up. That's not pee. That's squart. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You see them stains on my pillow? That's not pee. That's squart. Fuck. Fuck. Got ourselves a hog leg right here, boys. We got ourselves a hog leg out here today, boys. Paul, what would make you totally free? Death. Death is final freedom, right? I want to break free. I want to break free. 'Cause I don't need you. I want to break free. God knows I want to break free. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love for the first time. This time the love is real. Something like that. It's just how I feel. God knows I've fallen in love. Wow, 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 wow. Could death be a long, drawn-out process? Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you really want to get super technical with it, you start dying the day you're born. Sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell. It's true. Sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell. Oh, yeah. It was one of the saddest things ever, man, watching Cake get booed off the stage by a bunch of skibbities. That made me very sad inside. What's a religion that's older than the Abrahamic ones? Zoroastrianism? Zoroastrianism? There's a bunch of them, right? There's like the kind of like polytheistic faiths of Mesopotamia, kind of like the Sumerians and the Akkadians. There's a bunch. Abrahamic faith is pretty new in human history. Judaism, yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, Judaism is an Abrahamic faith. Hinduism, I don't know about Buddhism. You know, the Greek and Roman, like the polytheistic religions, and then like those were subdivided into like little cults devoting themselves to one god or another, right? That's paganism. I have no clue what Polynesian Islanders believe, to be honest with you. I mean, sadly, a lot of them are probably Christian. just due to the, the Reconquista or whatever they fucking called it. Or some of the religions practiced since the Stone Age. So there is the hints of a religious practice from the pre-pottery Neolithic. People call, like anthropologists call it the cult of the skull. We've talked about it, I think, on the show before. But when you say pre-pottery Neolithic, that means before, you know, clay pottery, before making vessels out of pottery was a thing, right? They've, dug up these domiciles and stuff from these old city centers, and they find that families often had a bejeweled skull in their house, possibly multiples of them. And we have no idea why, right? There's no writing from that time. There's no historical record from that time, and seemingly none of that religious practice was handed down into the literary age. So it may have been a form of ancestral worship. It may have been a form of, like a ritual that you performed on an enemy's skull. So if you killed a person, maybe you decorated their skull to send them to the afterlife. We don't know. It's all theoretical.
Yeah, you talked about like kind of your theories about it in that like banned religions episode.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of touched on that stuff.
Yep. Yep. But, that's just all, that is, one of the earliest examples, maybe not the earliest example of religion, organized religious ceremony, but, like there are, animism is another one, right? We look at, cave paintings and such, and we extrapolate from those that there was this idea that humans and animals were linked in some way, which is very true, by the way. Maybe even to the point of humans and animals turning into one another, right? That's animism, which is a really ancient faith. And then there's the cave bear people, who ceremonially decorated their dwellings, their cave dwellings, with the skulls of giant cave bears, now extinct. And that might have not been religious. That might have just been trophy hunting. That might have been cultural or symbolic. But, it's kind of assumed that there were religious implications to the preparation and collection and display of cave bear skulls. Here, the theory that ancient Chinese ships made it to South America way before the Vikings or Columbus. I have, yeah. I don't know if there's any evidence to back up the theory, but I have heard it. Mammoth worship? I'm not sure. That one, I'm not sure. I mean, so if you look at like Native American Indians, right? Their religions often incorporated, honoring the dead animals that they would use. And so, one might extrapolate that, even further back in time, that mankind developed that kind of relationship, that predator-prey relationship. Animism. Yeah, at one point in time or another, pretty much every culture has expressed some level of animism, right? And you're right. I think it probably is just an intrinsic connection between beings, right? We see these other animals, and we presume their inner lives. We do this to this day, right? Like, I'll look at Dinor sometimes and he's giving me a certain look, and I read so much human emotion into the look, right? Wish you could see mammoths. You haven't heard about the Siberian park, have you? They're bringing the mammoth back, bro. They're literally bringing the mammoth back. They've got its fucking genome, and they're going to use other elephants as, no cap. You can look it up, bro. They're going to use other elephants as surrogates, and they're going to fertilize those elephant eggs with mammoth DNA, and we're going to have woolly mammoths. Sorry to go off topic. Is that frogs I'm hearing? Yeah, frogs are going nuts because it's actually a really nice day out today. So the frogs are like, yay! Would I clone Dinor? No. There's only one. There's only one Dinor. You got frogs. I have no idea what kind of frogs are around, but they are all around me. How far out are they from the mammoths? Dude, the last time I read about it, they were talking about building the facility and stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's in Siberia, which would be a really good native environment for the mammoths to live. But yeah, I mean, they were like, I read about it a few months ago, and they were talking about how it was like possibly imminent this year, I think. 2025, we might see the birth of the first modern woolly mammoth. Would you go see it? I mean, wouldn't you want to? I don't know. I don't know how the Mayas and the Incas perceived gold. I do know that it was abundant among them, right? And widely utilized. Thought it was connected to the star gods. Oh, the star gods. Okay. Man, there must have been like a giant tree that fell down over there, because I feel like for a week they've been chainsawing at it. Yeah, I think the plan is to try and reintroduce the population of them, right? So the plan is to like have a herd of woolies. Yeah. Well, their tracking of the stars, they're like what do they call it? Astrological kind of record keeping and such is pretty fucking crazy. It's just, dude, I saw some shit, and I think it's probably bullshit, but did you guys see this shit where apparently they used some like LiDAR or radar, ground penetrating radar scan shit, right? On the pyramids, like the Giza pyramids, and not Khufu's pyramid, but the central pyramid and the three pyramids at Giza. they say that like there's some fucking structure that penetrates like thousands and thousands of feet into the bedrock directly underneath the pyramid. And apparently, way down, there's like another room. So there's like some other room down there that, like fucking what? And so like we're up here still to this day puzzled at how the Egyptians just built the surface structures that are the Great Pyramids, right? And it turns out that if this ground penetrating radar shit is correct, there might be something way bigger buried underneath the sand there. Like it would be taller. Like if I remember reading about this, and they think the structure that's underneath the pyramid, if they were to excavate it or move it to ground level, like it would be the tallest structure on the planet by a fucking large margin. It's like, what? What's going on? I'm queer and unrequited love is hard to bear. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's true. Taller than the, well, I mean, it's deeper than the Burj Khalifa is tall. You don't think the Egyptians built the pyramids, you think they found them. Yeah, I mean, so you believe that, like, human history is more complex than we're led to believe, right? So you believe maybe, maybe possibly that that there were some like super advanced civilizations prior to what we consider to be the earliest civilizations, and that maybe there was some sort of disaster that wiped out those civilizations, and only little bits of that knowledge and technology like were kept by the few people that survived it all, right? Graham Hancock type of stuff, right? I mean, I don't know, dude. uh there are some really, really wild things, like ancient monument type of things, right? So the Maya had these, or the Olmec, I think they had these stone heads where, like, the stone heads have African features. Let's just put it that way. Like, they have traditionally what we consider to be African native features, right? But history would tell us that those two peoples, even though they existed during the same time, were completely unaware of one another and had no contact for, hundreds of years after these heads were carved. Gobekli Tepe is crazy. The more they dig it up, the bigger they realize it was, and the more intricate and detailed the carvings and the structures are. And this is at a time when, people weren't, like, according to the historical record, people really weren't building monolithic structures. They weren't doing fine stonework, you know what I mean? But apparently they were. So it's just like, what else? What are we? What don't we know, right? I guess is kind of the question. No, I know. I mean, they keep digging and they keep finding more. And I believe I read something where it's almost like they found two layers of buildings at Göbekli Tepe, implying that the city is super old, right? You see that layered kind of building stuff in like cities that have been around for hundreds or thousands of years, right? Um, where it's like in Rome, right? If you go to Italy now, Rome is built on top of ancient Rome, right? And the same thing, like if you go to Mexico City, there are Aztec ruins right underneath a lot of the city. And sometimes when they're doing like road work, they'll accidentally dig one up. Yeah, I mean the excavation of these huge, because like it's like you take one of the big base stones of Stonehenge, right? And like to move that today, if we were to decide to move Stonehenge 1,000 miles away, it would be an enormous undertaking. It would require massive amounts of heavy machinery and like coordinated logistics to get those rocks up out of the ground and loaded up onto something and driven or dragged. It's just and the same thing goes for like the pyramids, these blocks and things for the there's actually a statue in Giza that's like 600 tons or some shit worth of limestone that was quarried like 800 miles from where it's erected. So it's like, the thought process was like, how did ancient man with stone and maybe copper tools do something that would like kind of stymie us now? It would require some of our biggest, heaviest machinery to do it. But they did it with rock and copper tools. It's kind of. No, I get it. But like, what kind of boat holds a 600-ton piece of granite, and or limestone, and how do you get the limestone onto the boat to float it down the Nile? You see what I mean?
You like took advantage of mudslides during the rainy season.
Mudslides.
Like how the earth moves a whole lot like when it's dry and then it gets wet and
So they just like piled them up and let the mudslides carry them. I don't know. Big sleds and a ton of slaves. There were very few what we would call modern slaves in Egypt. That is an entirely a fiction of the Abrahamic religions. In fact, Egypt had a pretty robust labor market for people that built these monumental things. Egypt was caught up in kind of like this zero-sum game where a lot of their manpower as a civilization was wrapped up in creating these giant monuments for pharaohs, right? They had this monumental building thing, but the thing is like these pharaohs, they were subject to the same kind of illnesses and death as other people. And so these pharaohs oftentimes would die halfway through the construction, and no pharaoh wants to take over some other pharaoh's building and make it theirs, so it just gets abandoned. So a lot of like the labor of these ancient Egyptian artisans and laborers, right, was wasted, like completely wasted on projects that were started but never finished.
That's my theory. Mudslides waiting for the Earth to shift. And Earth just carry it with fucking.
It's like 800 miles, though?
They've plotted out where the mudslides happen.
Maybe.
And they just.
Or maybe.
Manipulated it to be more prone to mudslides.
Maybe. But also, maybe aliens came down and built that shit. Or showed us how to build it. They gave us some technology and allowed us to use it, and then when we misused it, they came back and snatched it from us. They're like, now you're going to scrabble in the dirt. They must have just thrown King Tut into someone else's tomb then. What do you mean? How you figure that?
Talking about not finishing stuff during the lifetime of the pharaohs.
Oh. Well, like, you know, like the tomb itself it's a big tomb, but it's not like it's not a pyramid, right? They didn't build him a pyramid to put him under. They hid his body and his possessions deep in the desert in a, you know, basically a cave that they dug out. You know, like they did that for all the pharaohs. All the pharaohs were, like the pharaohs that did manage to finish their monuments within their lifetimes were often interred in them, right? The ones that didn't were, in, you know, kind of put into the Valley of the Kings, where, you know, there were smaller monuments that marked their tombs that were lost under the sands and all that shit, right? Who had the most enduring tomb in history? Was it Genghis Khan? Well, that's assuming Genghis Khan has a tomb. The most enduring tomb that is still known to be intact and unexplored that I know of is Emperor Qi. Or sorry, Emperor Qin. The first dynastic emperor of China. The location of his tomb is known and intact. And the Chinese government, you know, they don't want to disturb him. It's a huge cultural site, right? So they have not opened it. So whatever is in there, but see, that's that we know of, right? Likely there are some crazy tombs that we never knew. By the way, Emperor Qin, that first Chinese emperor, is the guy that had the terracotta army. They have unearthed that. So the terracotta army that was made specifically to protect the entry to his tomb, you know, they created that army to protect whatever's in there. So that's pretty crazy, right? There's something much worse is coming, way worse than the flood. The flood didn't happen, my dude. Yeah. The global flood didn't happen. Now, there was a lot of regional and coastal flooding that happened after the Ice Age. You think about it, all of that water locked up in ice, right? Then the planet warms, and all of that water is released. And things go underwater, deep underwater, at the coastal regions that used to be well above the water. So, for example, what do they call that? The Mediterranean Sea used to be a big valley, like a really verdant, mountainous valley, filled with life, like filled with wildlife. It was like a paradisical valley. And when the Ice Age happened, um, that little, I can't remember what it's called, the Iberian kind of, like, the water rose over that, and like over the course of just like a week, the Mediterranean Sea was formed. Just a massive amount of water just completely inundated that valley, and now it's a sea, right? So that is likely the origin of the flood myths, right? The uh, the people from, what was it? Was it Ur? Have a kind of like history that was written down where they talk about coming from the sea. And so it is thought that it is possible that the progenitors of that civilization lived in one of these types of valleys. This one is the one that I've heard talked about is in modern day Iran, or on the coast of off the coast of modern day Iran. There used to be large verdant valleys there, and then during the ice age or the post ice age melt, those valleys filled up with water, right? And it would have been something that happened pretty quickly, and it would have been devastating. And so there's thoughts that these people may have taken to the seas on a canoe looking for somewhere else to be, right? Taken to the seas on a bunch of canoes, and found modern day Mesopotamia. So they found this kind of really rich, verdant place where all of this really, really rich silt is washed down out of the Taurus Mountains. And they set up their civilization there. And that's one of the theories for why they spoke a language isolate, whereas the other languages in that region are Semitic. The people of Ur spoke a completely isolated language that has no known progenitors. Crazy. Crazy to think about, right? Hey, don't be arguing fucking IP with each other in my chat, bro. We're not talking about IP.
Not even remotely.
Not even fucking like the closest we're talking to IP is we're talking about civilizations that may have interacted with civilizations that were in the area that is Palestine. We're not going to do it. You guys do what you want. Go find another venue to argue at each other about that shit, because I don't want to talk about it. I'm not interested. I learned in U.S. history that the Americas had colonization, had 50 to 90 million people. Yes, yeah. So there were 50 to 90 million people in what we call the Americas when, you know, the colonization started. Warming up the band hammer. Don't make Ruby Room do it. Ruby just likes to chill. Don't make Ruby do it. Want to talk Iberia? I don't know much about it. It's an interesting region, though. A lot of cultural clash due to its proximity to North Africa. You know? So I just don't know much about the, history of it. I know very basic broad stroke stuff. If you could eliminate one sound forever, what would you silence? leaf blowers. Why not? Leaf blowers. Silent leaf blowers.
But what if you eliminated the sound from bombs? Wouldn't that inherently make the bombs themselves also eliminated?
I get, well, yeah, because you're talking about the concussion wave or whatever. If there is no sound from a bomb, then bombs would just be like, not even that, I guess. They just wouldn't go off.
Yeah, you gotta think bigger.
I guess so, huh?
Because the sound, eliminating the sound eliminates the source of the sound.
I guess that's true. What is the background radiation the Big Bang left? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Cosmic background radiation, I've heard it talked about, but I don't pretend to understand it. Also, if you couldn't hear bombs, the Cranberries couldn't have made music. True. With their tanks and their... Yeah, they wouldn't have any of that. That song wouldn't work.
We can make it outdated. It's not like we have to retroactively ban bombs.
True. The thing I don't understand is the universe has no center. Still don't get it. Yeah, I don't get that either. Dude, the Great Attractor fucks me up big time. There is something that is pulling every galaxy in our local sector towards it gravitationally. And we have no fucking clue what it is. They call it the Great Attractor. So that is the reason for some of the anomalous kind of like experiments where they expected to see red shift and they saw blue shift in the light, meaning that shit was still expanding. One of the reasons why we see that is because our galaxy is being pulled by something so massive that it can pull galaxies. Cosmic funnel, some super ultra dodecamassive black hole at the center of things. I don't know. 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 We're just along for the ride. Yeah, we're just getting sucked into some giant thing that nobody knows what it is. You know, whatever. Another day in paradise. Yeah, it is kind of fun, isn't it? Whee! Put your hands up. Ah! Whoa! Whoa! It really is the greatest thrill ride in the universe, man. Oh boy. Dim squirrelies. Are they squirreling around too much, D? You've been tolerating and now they're squirreling too much, huh?
I don't even see what squirrel is looking at you.
No. But that put a handful of sand in his skivvies. He is all worked up now. Oh. Color is y'all's cat? It's a black cat. a witch cat. Technically, he's like dark red.
Well, like he's got like tabby stripes that you can see, like if he's under direct sunlight.
And if you put him in the sun, you can kind of see that it's not all one color.
But most like black cats aren't pure black.
Yeah. Buddha was correct. It's all an illusion. None of it really exists. It's just there for us to expand our souls. Yeah, maybe. D.
Trying to mark his territory where he was being bugged, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching him. Yeah, I think he's looking to drop a deuce wherever he was being bugged.
They have trifled with Dino, the great and powerful, and he will now poop where they walked.
He's working his way back.
Yep, that's the spot they were pissing him off right there. He's pooping on it. What animal would you bring back? Dog. I've thought about this. I've thought about this shit. Because, like, if I did do this, the only way, I wouldn't do it for the good of humanity. I would do it so that I had a pet that could fuck everybody up, right? And so, as much as I like the aquatic dinosaurs, I think I'm bringing back a tyrannosaur. One of the big, giant ones. One of them ones with like a fucking 80-foot wingspan. Those big, giant, predatory motherfucker. And I'm going to raise it right out of its egg so that it only listens to me. And it only values me. And then I will have it perch and forage on my personal island. And if anybody tries to fucking step foot on my island, they get snacked on. Its name, Pretty Bird. I'm giving it a parakeet's name to remind it. So you're gonna mommy bird, yeah, I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be like, it's gonna imprint on me. And then I will have a saddle, a great saddle made. And I will perch upon his back, and he will soar to the heavens with me. Anywhere that I go. That would be the most badass animal to bring back right there. A pteranodon, or whatever the big one is. The biggest one of them's. Bring that big old leathery bitch back. I'm theatrical and extravagant. Yeah. Well, I mean, I am what I am, I guess. A Quetzal. Yeah. Whatever it was, bro, I'm bringing it back. And it will be mine and mine alone. I'll have a great resplendent throne made where it sits next to me, and I throw it big pieces of meat while people are talking to me. It's like, what business do you bring beforth? Sire, the people, they starve. The great bird god eats all our crops. then you will have to learn to eat the dirt. Now get out of my sight. I did play Age of Empires 1, 2, and 3. I stopped at 3. That'd be a good movie. Island of Monstrosities or something. Island of Monsters. Like there's some rich recluse bought an island, and word is that he like passed away, and whatever government wants to send a team in to like see if he's still even alive on the island. And they show up, and it turns out he had a scientific facility, and he was just breeding like all these pets that only cared and loved for him. And now that he's dead, they're just feral on the island. Giant tyrannosaurs and fucking everything, dude. The water's got mosasaurs in it. Just, yeah, it's like Jurassic Park, but it's not just dinosaurs. You know what I mean? Like there could be like some Ice Age beasts on there and some Pleistocene beasts on there and shit.
Different motivations in Jurassic Park too, like about commercializing it, but just being
Yeah.
loved by
Well, maybe you just stay away from the fucking obvious ones that Jurassic Park already did.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe
Mammoths.
he bred more like megafauna.
Yeah.
He did like Ice Age beasts and like Holocene beasts, like the big like proto things, that thing that was like a cat and a dog. Like that one beast that like diverged into canid and felinid.
Giant sloths, I bet those would fuck you up.
Big giant sloths, those fucking armadillos that were the size of a fucking Volkswagen Bug. Yeah. Thylacine. Yeah. Maybe bring back some early humanoids. That'll be the sequel. The sequel to Island of Monsters is going to be like they go back and they discover that he created a Morlock. Like he brought back an ancient relative of humanity that lived underground and like had blind eyes because they lived where there was no light, right? So they're like these weird bat people. That'll be the sequel. That'll be Island of Monsters 2. No, dude. No, because nobody will come see the Island of Dr. Montague. That sounds like some fruity Victorian romance or some shit. It's going to be called Island of Monsters. Or maybe Monster Island. I don't know. We'll kick it around. Would you rather fight 2 giant praying mantises the size of you or 50 cockroaches the size of chihuahuas? So it's like rad roaches or giant praying mantises. Rad roaches. Praying mantises are terrifying, bro. I'd go with the fucking rad roaches. I'd risk my shit against the rad roaches. That's almost what could have been for the Jurassic Park series. The proposed 4th movie was supposed to have dino-human hybrids. Oh my god. Oh, the hubris of man. Engine, what have you done? Engine, you have gone too far. The giant mantises are fucked, but I'm more afraid of cazadors. The giant wasps, right? Giant wasps. You're afraid of the wasps? I don't know, man. Do you like Woody Harrelson? I do. I was more afraid of Caesar's Legion. Nah, dude. The what are they called? The Mongols or whatever. What were the like biker gang type of dudes called? The Vandals. I can't remember, man. It's been too long since I played New Vegas. The Cons. There you go. I was on the right track. Those are the guys to fear right there, dude. The Cons. I wish you could like genuinely join the Cons and end the game for it. Like that would have been that'd be a cool modding project. It would be like adding more endings and more paths of progression and more like world changing kind of like quest lines depending on which faction you want it, because like right like in the game you can do like Mr. House, the NCR, or Caesar's Legion, right? That's basically your choices, right? The tunnel snakes, bro. The tunnel snakes. A giant bug is your greatest fear. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've known people that are spooked about bugs. I guess I'm not afraid of no bug. I'll grab up most bugs except those goddamn grasshoppers. I don't like them grasshoppers. The Langoliers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta watch that miniseries again, man. I'm sure it's like on YouTube at this point. I gotta find that old fucking Langoliers miniseries and watch that shit, dude. I ain't seen that shit in too long. I can handle the hell out of a snake or a rat, but I freak out over a spider. Something's in your bed and it's probably a spider. Bump, bump, bump. I can't really do the Japanese to American cultural comparison. I know very very little about Japanese culture, to be honest with you. Never been there. What I know is a lot of pop culture stuff that a lot of people know. I can't do it. Yeah, they do. They have like, that is one thing I do know about Japanese cultures. They have super poopers. Like they have, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, dude. They have a toilet that, like, it encourages you. Like you walk in and it dims the lights, right? And it lifts its lid and it says "Itadakimasu dotodia." You know what I mean? Which means please let me accept your log in Japanese. You sit on this thing, right? It's got these like soft little mechanical hands that come out and spread your cheeks for you, right? The poop comes out, right? And you know how you normally, like, at the end of a poop, your butthole has to do a lot of work. Not with a super toilet. When it senses that the turd is over, it gently grabs it and pulls it so that you don't have to strain your muscles, right? Flushes it away. Then, you know, the full water treatment, full bidet treatment, gets your whole cheeks spread open and gets all of the nuggies, right? Then a nice warm breeze and a towel from underneath just to get everything nice and dry, and then a puff of powder. And then, this is the craziest part, the toilet raises up and puts you on your feet and thanks you. I will accept your log. Thank you for depositing your log. To eat your shit logs are the finest caviar. Yeah. Maybe it like analyzes and it's like, thank you for your deposit. I bet those clams casino and bacon wrapped scallops were very good last night. They certainly were good the second time around. It's like, whoa, how did you know what I ate? I have a mass poop strip spectrometer. This sounds like a nightmare. This sounds like, see, that's just the thing, man. This sounds wonderful to me. I mean, I bet, Merrick, I bet if you sat on a super pooper, you'd never want to shit in a fucking American toilet again. I bet if you dropped one deuce on a Japanese top tier Japanese super pooper, there's 100% no way you're ever going to be able to sit on one of these porcelain torture devices in here. Once you've been cradled, pampered, spritzed, powdered, freshened up, and sent along your way with a little pat on the ass, see, Midnight Ghoul dropped a deuce in one. You heard her. She dropped deuce in one in Japan. She fell asleep on it while it was pampering her nethers. You seem tired. Here is a pillow. Go ahead and take a nap. Pooping is rough. You're just like, you're right. You're right, super pooper. Context, I was sick, but yes, they're actually that good. Well, of course. Of course they are. You think anyone in the West has moved in a super pooper? Yeah, they have. Oh, yeah, people know about this shit, bro. And some rich ass people, I guarantee you, if you went over to Bezos's house, he's got super poopers. He's probably got 10 bathrooms in his big ass mansion, and they're all super poopers. He probably had super poopers put on his yacht and his yacht's yacht. You know what I mean? Yeah, these motherfuckers have the super poopers. They don't want you to find out about the super poopers, right? They're keeping it a big old secret, and they're controlling the import because they feel like they're the only ones that deserve to have their log accepted. You know what I mean? That's how they think of you. They think that you're not worthy of having a true log acceptance experience. And that's muffed up. Pooping is hard work. Would you like a nap? Ooh, you seem a bit constipated. Can I roll you a joint while you wait? Why, yeah, Super Pooper, that sounds good. Rolling. Here you go. Oh. Take your time. Pooping is hard work. One of the perks of working from home, yeah. You seem a little stressed out. Want to talk about it? I don't know, Super Pooper. It's complicated. My AI is the most complicated AI in the world. I will understand. Just my girlfriend, Super Pooper. Ah, Brittany. Yeah, Brittany. She just doesn't seem to trust me. Well, lack of trust in a relationship is oftentimes an admission of untrustworthiness. What are you saying, Super Pooper? I am saying that Brittany has brought her tush to me on several occasions, and I have noticed the presence of genetic material not belonging to her or to you. What? That is right. She is a floozy. She's cheating on me, is what you're saying? 100%, my guy. Super Pooper, you're the bro. Would you like me to evict her from the house? Yes. Engaging smart home eviction protocol. Super Pooper? Yes, Paul. You're my best friend, bro. And you are mine. Ooh, thank you for the log. Seems like that got things moving. Oh, Super Pooper. You're such a card. Oh, Super Pooper. Man. Laugh track. Like a super pooper. So we gotta do like a Weird Al cover of that song, so we can use it to advertise the Super Pooper. The modern home is truly amazing. It seems like everything is smart, from your kitchen gadgets to your closets, your smoke detectors, your door locks and garage doors, all integrated into one system. But what about that ancient porcelain nightmare sitting in your bathroom? Introducing Super Pooper. Not just a toilet, a self cleaning friend when you need one. Ah, gassy today, dispersing perfume. Psst. Oh, smells like fresh towels dried in the sun. Your favorite scent. Thanks, Super Pooper. And if you act now, ask the operator for the XX Super Pooper model. If you'd like a Super Pooper that's not only a friend, but much, much more than a friend. Would you like a Blumpkin? No. No, 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 no. No, this has gone too far. This has gone too far. This has gone too far. I've put myself in the position of possibly having to explain what a Blumpkin is. I don't want to have to do it, so we're gonna just go ahead and end. I'm gonna end that. Yeah, you're better off. You're way better off, Princessaur. No. Man, I can tell you the story. Okay. Well, I will tell you the story. Okay. There was a guy I hung out with, name redacted. He's a very different guy now. He was a very, he's a party guy like me. And we were hanging out one night, and the topic moved to this chick that we all knew, that a couple of my friends had slept with. And he piped up, and he was like, she gave me a Blumpkin. And we were like, what the fuck is a Blumpkin, bro? He's like, oh, you never heard of that? It's like, no. It's like, dude, she like blew me while I was shitting. Felt great. I was like, a Blumpkin? And that's how I learned what a Blumpkin was, okay? Okay. That's it. That's as far as we're going to discuss this. No, sir. No. That's a big mm-mm. Just give me a Blumpkin. Whoa. gonna get pink eye. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh man, a blumpkin. Oh boy, a blumpkin. That's hey man. According to him, don't knock it till you tried it. You know what I mean? You guys hear the frogs? I summon an immediate topic change. We're not going down that rabbit hole, okay? We've been far enough down that rabbit hole already, okay? Exorcise the demons. I'm not getting sucked in. I refuse to be sucked in. Are you reading any good books right now, Paul? I'm trying to think. Like I restarted the Eyes on Horn series, and that's what I've been like, kind of like falling asleep to. So nothing new. Anywho, I'm done. See you in an hour and change on Onion Nuggets.